Imagine this. You're setting out on a picture-perfect vacation, ready to fill your SD card with dreamy sunsets, epic landscapes, and the kind of shots that will have your Instagram followers drooling. But just like the Griswolds on their way to Wally World, things don't always go as planned. Maybe the weather doesn't cooperate, the crowds are overwhelming, or that hidden gem turns out to be more of a tourist trap. Welcome to the wild and unpredictable world of travel photography, where the most memorable shots often come from the most unexpected moments. In this video, we're not just going to show you how to capture the perfect photo, we're going to embrace the chaos, the mishaps, and the reality of what it's like to try and turn a family vacation into a photographic masterpiece. Buckle up, because this road trip is about to get real. I'm Brenda Bergering, here with practical photography advice to help you make the most of your camera, whether you're shooting for fun or building your portfolio. If you're ready to take your travel photography to the next level, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on more tips like these. Tip number 1, research your destination. Before you even pack your bags, do some research on your destination. Look for iconic spots, hidden gems, and local culture that you can capture. Check out Instagram, travel blogs, and even Google Earth to get a sense of the best angles and times to shoot. But here's the twist. Don't just replicate what you see. Use this research to plan how you'll capture the destination in your own unique way. Think about the time of day, the lighting, and how you can add your own creative touch to familiar scenes. Maybe something that's always shot at sunrise, you shoot at sunset. Maybe something that's always shot super wide, you shoot telephoto. Use a different lens, use a different technique, use a different approach so that you get something different than what you see. Otherwise, why are you going instead of just scrolling Instagram? I'm not saying to not go to the iconic places. I'm saying go to those places. There's a reason they're iconic. And then go further. Tip number 2, pack light, pack smart. When it comes to travel photography, less is more. You don't need a ton of gear to capture amazing shots. Really, you just need a camera and a lens. I recommend bringing a versatile lens like a 24-70 or your favorite wide angle prime. Let me know your favorite wide angle primes in the comments below. I'm adding some of those to our playlist that you can see here on different camera lenses and how to shoot with them. So I'd love to know what lenses you are shooting with. But really you want a versatile lens and maybe just a couple of them so that you're not weighed down by too much gear. You'll also want a lightweight tripod, something that's not too heavy, not too hard to set up, but it's great to have one for star photos, waterfalls, or just selfies, family photos. You'll need plenty of batteries, especially if you don't have a battery charger or you don't know when you're going to be able to charge your gear if you're backpacking or something like that. You need plenty of memory cards, and I like to have a nice card wallet to keep them with. I keep my card wallet on me at all times so that you always have that. You'll also want to be able to clean your gear, so you'll need a microfiber cloth. One small one and one big one is great. Also, I like this puffer fish thing to clean the sensor to make sure that dust and smudge doesn't ruin an otherwise perfect photo. But really, that's not that much gear. And it can fit all in a small backpack. You can carry it on the plane. You can take it backpacking. You don't want to limit what you're able to do because you have too much gear. But on that note, if you want to know more specifics about our travel photography gear, let me know in the comments and I'll get Mark to work on that. That's not what this video is about. The point of this tip is just don't be so encumbered by gear that you can't take the photos. Less is more, simple is best. Yes. Okay. Tip number 3 is to capture the details. While it's tempting to focus on grand landscapes and famous landmarks, don't forget to capture the small details that tell the story of your travels. Whether it's riding on the airplane or the fish that you caught or the waves that you surfed, these details add richness to your travel narrative. There's more to the story than the big landscapes, so get close, use a low aperture to create beautiful bokeh, and let the details fill the frame because these types of shots end up adding to the story. We, on a recent trip, make a family photo album from the trip. And as I'm putting together the album, I love like the giant landscape shots, but I also have to tell the story of the plane ride and the place that we stayed and the fish that we caught and how we prepped the fish for dinner. And so it's nice to have the whole story. Tip number 4, embrace the golden hours. The best light for travel photography, in my opinion, and all photography, happens to be just after sunrise and just before sunset, what we call the golden hours. The soft, warm light during these times can make your photos look magical, adding depth and dimension to your images. So set your alarm early or plan to stay out late to take advantage of the natural light. You'll avoid the harsh midday sun and capture scenes in a way that most tourists miss. I'm always shocked when everyone leaves somewhere right before it gets beautiful. Sure, they're ready for dinner and hungry, so they got to get going, but that's just when it's about to get good. I can't tell you how many times I've been at a crowded national park that was nearly empty at sunrise. So unless you share this video with too many of your friends, the reality is most people won't put in the extra effort to be there when it's most beautiful. Tip number 5 is about framing and composition. The one thing that most people can do to level up their photography is just to utilize some simple framing and composition techniques. Most beginners just say, wow, that's beautiful. They see a picture and they take a picture of what they see just exactly as they see it. But eventually you want to compose the photo and make sure you organize things in the frame in a more impactful way. Whenever we're somewhere and someone asks if we want them to take a picture of us, I always hesitate because I know that Mark will just complain about the framing. You're standing in front of a beautiful view and somebody takes your picture and like your head is blocking the view, or your head is cut off in a weird way, or there's other people in the picture frame, and it doesn't take that much work to just adjust your composition to get the framing to show what you want it to show. There are a ton of simple techniques that you can consider, such as using foreground, patterns, leading lines, symmetry, filling the frame, etc. And hopefully the ideas that you're seeing on the screen will help inspire some of that. Number 6 is be intentional. But this isn't about composition and framing. Sometimes you have to put your camera away and be present in the moment. Especially if you're traveling with your family, you want to be there with them and actually enjoy your trip and actually make memories. Then, when it comes to photo time, you can focus on what you want to capture without taking away from the experience of everybody else. So I know for us, we have to have times when we have our cameras and times when we don't. And then that way our kids aren't just experiencing a place with mom and dad with cameras in front of their faces all the time. If it's just Mark and I, sometimes a trip will turn into just we both are taking pictures all the time because that's something we love to do together. But when we're with our family, we want to make sure we're making memories with them and that the photos are helping enhance those memories when we look back on the album. We want to remember the fun times that we had, not that mom and dad always had the camera in their hand. Tip number 7 is to capture things that make you feel. If there's something about a scene that is a reminder of how it felt, find a way to include that in the image. Often this is about sounds or smells or other senses that you don't necessarily think about capturing. But if you can find ways to tell the story in a deeper way, it'll trigger your memory. The picture on the screen is from our trip to Mesa Verde when the ranger was playing music and everything in the canyon got still and quiet and you could feel the history and the soul of the space because of that extra addition of the music. Number 8, don't limit yourself to what you think will make a great photo. Sometimes you have to photograph the real as well as the pristine. This is one of our weaknesses for sure. We already have a selective memory of our trips, and when we only photograph the sunrises and sunsets, it ends up being a filtered version of reality. So I can show you the beauty and magic of swimming with sea turtles or epic double rainbows. But what about the raw and real moments? What about the delayed flight, or changing diapers on tailgates, or epic traffic jams, or stressful, crowded towns? What about sunburns and mosquito bites and exhaustion? Sometimes the best part of an adventure is the obstacles we overcame along the way. That makes the story deeper and more impactful. So in conclusion, you've seen the photos, a perfectly styled van parked on the edge of a cliff with the doors wide open to reveal a cozy Instagram-ready interior. It's the epitome of freedom and adventure, right? Well, before you trade in your day job for a life on the road, let's talk about the reality behind those #vanlife posts. Because while the views may be stunning, capturing them often involves a lot more sweat, planning, and mosquito bites than the photos let on. Sure, the van life might look glamorous online, but anyone who's ever tried to get a good night's sleep in a Walmart parking lot can tell you the reality is a lot more work than it appears. But here's the thing, that's what makes the journey and the photos so worth it. So whether you're snapping pics from your luxury van or your trusty old tent by the river, remember that the real beauty isn't just in the shot. It's in the adventure you took to get there. Keep snapping, keep exploring, and most importantly, keep it real. Thanks so much for watching. I hope these tips help you on your next adventure. If you found this video useful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more practical photography advice. Safe travels and happy shooting.